Alright, so this week we're doing chapter 2 and it's entitled Alien Encounters Europe and the Americas. So, what I want to do is just kind of give you a short summary of chapter 2. Of course, you still need to read everything and also explain some of the videos that I have posted within this week's assignments and give you kind of a little bit more information about that. So, chapter 2, it starts out focusing on Christopher Columbus. But I want to bring to your attention that some peoples were actually here before Columbus ever, quote, discovered, unquote, the Americas. This guy is Leif Erikson. And Leif Erikson is what we would consider a Viking. And his family, it's really cool. You can Google him if you would like to get more information. But it's believed that he was actually in the northern part of North America, landed there, actually started a colony, and then around 1000 AD, that colony disappeared. There's archaeological evidence that Vikings were in North America and parts of Canada and Nova Scotia, and so kind of changing the history books just a little bit. Obviously, Christopher Columbus and Leif Erikson were not the first peoples in North and South America. About 14 million Native Americans were living in this area before Leif Erikson in 1000 and Christopher Columbus in 1492. So keep that in mind. And the video that I have, it's a one-word video, and it talks about Christopher Columbus and its Native Americans reacting to his name. Feel free to watch that. I think it's like a 2 to 3 minute video, giving an Indian perspective on Christopher Columbus. There's also some adult language used. Emotions are very tense in that video, so keep that in mind. If you are offended by some of those adult words that are used, then don't watch it. But this guy, Christopher Columbus, you've all heard the saying, Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1492. Didn't discover anything new, but he did discover something new if you think about it from the European perspective. Europeans had no idea that there were two continents in the middle of the ocean. So really he's looking for a trade route to Asia, and he thinks that he stumbles upon Asia when he lands in modern day Haiti, Dominican Republic area. When he gets there, the reason that he thinks this is there was a guy called Marco Polo who had done some exploration, who had been to Asia before, and he thought that he landed in those islands off the coast of India that Marco Polo had talked about. Honest mistake, more than likely, but with this new discovery by Europeans, it's not going to turn out to be the best for Native Americans that were already living in in North and South America. So this just gives you a map, kind of an idea. He landed in the Caribbean, this island, which is now it's divided into Haiti and the Dominican Republic, but this is where he thought he landed close to Asia. He thought an island off of Asia is where he was. Obviously, now we know that that's not true. Something else is going on in this chapter. It's called the Protestant Reformation. I've got a video for you guys. If you've heard of the rapper Jay-Z and 99 Problems, I put a video in that talks about Martin Luther and his 99 Thesis. So the problems with the Catholic Church that are going on, breaking away from the Catholic Church, starting these new churches, what we call Protestant churches. So you have Lutheranism, and eventually what's going to extend from that is your modern day Baptists, Methodists, Episcopalian, Lutherans. Those churches are started during this Protestant, or seeds of the Protestant Reformation are going to start these churches. So Martin Luther, they talk about him a little bit in your chapter, and then we move on talking about the conquistadors and others that started to come to the Americas. The 3 G's is what's motivating most of these European countries: God, glory, and gold. Spreading the word of Christianity. Also glory for their countries, for their kings and queens, their monarchs, but also glory for themselves. And then, of course, gold. There's stories as they get into the Americas and they're talking to these Indians, Native Americans that are living here. Stories of riches and whole cities made of gold. And that's what they're looking for to take back to their empire so their empires can grow. You have the Spanish that come first, going to be followed by the French and the Dutch, and then eventually the English are going to come to the New World. Queen Elizabeth, she's going to be the monarch ruling over England during the time of English discovery and settlement. The settlement of Virginia is named after her. She was known as the Virgin Queen, so that's where that Virginia comes from. It talks about early English colonization in this chapter. You can read about that. We also have Plymouth and Jamestown. Talk about the first few colonies set up by the English. And the chapter is eventually going to end with the Columbian Exchange. So the goods that are transported back and forth, and some of these are good things and some of these are bad things that go from the New World to the Old World and vice versa. Feel free to watch the videos that I've included in our Blackboard website in week 3. We've got one that's talking about Native Americans and how we view them, and especially Native American women today. And we also got that one word and Christopher Columbus reaction of modern day Indians to that. And then that short video, it's a rap video. It's called 99 Theses and it's talking about the Protestant Reformation. Hopefully this helps kind of understanding the framework of this chapter. It's a fairly long chapter. There's 6 sections in this chapter, so definitely break it down. Don't try to read it all at once. Break it over, a few days this week and get in there and start reading it. Make sure you take the quiz. It's due Friday at midnight. And of course, if you guys ever have questions, email me or call me.